The Greek word that's used here in Colossians 2:2 is parakaleo. It literally means to call near, to invite, to invoke. But if we expand it a little bit further, it's from the same word used in John 14:26, where Jesus said, "But the Helper, which is parakletos, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all that I have said to you." So that word that's used in John 14:26, parakletos, it's translated sometimes helper or advocate or comforter or counselor. In the scriptures, it's only used 5 times. 4 of them are between John 14 and John 16, all when Jesus is talking about the Holy Spirit. The 5th time is in 1 John chapter 2, verse 1, when John tells us that Jesus is our advocate with the Father. So the only 5 times that this word is used throughout the entirety of the New Testament, it's talking about God. So that means that God is our encourager and our encouragement. That God is our helper and our help. That God is our advocate and our advocacy. That God is our comforter and our comfort. So it's not something he gives us, it's when he brings us into himself. He's not just handing it out to us. He's saying, let me gather you to myself, because in me you'll find all the help and the strength and the encouragement and the comfort that your heart desires. But we keep waiting for him to give it from an outside source rather than to know that it's a relationship with him. It's submission to him and surrender to him that actually starts to settle our hearts. It's not when our kids get things together. It's not when our bosses handle things right. It's not when our money is right or our bodies are right. It's when we are in right relationship with him. That's when he says, now you can rest in me. Even when the world's going crazy. Even when everything is shaking, Psalm 75 says. The pillars of the earth and all of its inhabitants, even when they shake, what does he say? I hold them in place. Most of you, if I asked for a story and you thought about it, you could think of a moment where everything was shaking and you knew God was holding you. Where everything was falling apart, where everybody else was crazy. And yet you knew in that moment, God has me. He's holding me. He's keeping me. What if I were to tell you that that's a place to live, not a place to come occasionally? What if I were to tell you that no matter what the news says, you can be held? That no matter what's happening in your house, you can be held. That no matter what's happening in your church, you can be held. That no matter what's happening anywhere you ever find yourself, you can be held if you will sit in his hand.